All right, let's get right into it, because what we're seeing right now is a fascinating split. On one side, you've got the unstoppable global takeover of K-pop, and on the other, a true giant of Korean media that's, well, it's kind of stumbling. Today, we're going to break down this tale of two worlds to figure out the new rules for what it takes to win in media. And when I say unstoppable, I am not exaggerating. Just look at this number, 300 million times. That's how many times Les Seraphim's track Easy has been streamed on Spotify. This isn't just a popular song. This is the kind of massive hit that catapulted them onto the Billboard Hot 100 for the very first time. You can just tell their whole vibe is connecting with fans all over the world. But here's the thing, it's not just them. What's so wild is that this isn't some lucky one-off success story. Les Seraphim is just one part of this huge, relentless wave of K-pop that is basically reshaping the global music scene as we speak. The momentum is constant, and it is powerful. I mean, if you need proof, just look at what happened in a single month. This past November was stacked. You had huge comebacks from Stray Kids, who are just dominating the Billboard charts, plus Rise, Mi-yeon from GI Idol, and 50/50. It just feels like there's this nonstop pipeline of amazing content aimed at a global audience.
That's a really good point about the pipeline, that nonstop momentum. But while the K-pop world is popping champagne, there's a totally different story happening just around the corner in Korean media. So you have to ask, is everybody winning right now? And the answer to that is a hard no, not even close.
Exactly. So let's flip the coin over, because we really need to talk about the crisis that Korean dramas are facing, specifically the weekend dramas from a major player like KBS. This is where that whole triumphant global conquest story just hits a brick wall. And this right here just lays it all out. It's so stark. You have K-pop expanding its fan base across the planet and hitting the top of the charts. And then you have these weekend dramas, which used to be appointment television, just seeing their viewership drop and drop. The ratings aren't hitting the mark at all. It's like they're living in two completely different universes. And these problems run deep. We're talking about shows from famous can't-miss star writers that just aren't connecting with people anymore. That leads to budget cuts, which leads to shorter shows, but nothing seems to be working. And this isn't new, by the way. It's a slide that's been happening since the 2020s, and you can hear the whole industry basically screaming for something, anything, groundbreaking to shake things up. Okay, so that really is the heart of the matter, isn't it? You've got these two huge pillars of Korean culture, and they are on completely opposite trajectories. So it makes you wonder, what's the secret sauce here? What is K-pop doing so right that traditional media just seems to be missing entirely?
And that's exactly where we find the answer. It's not about having a bigger budget or hiring a more famous writer. The real difference, the game changer, is a total shift in strategy, moving away from those big one-time promotional events to something way more consistent, something that's all about sustained engagement.
This is the key idea we need to understand for 2025, and it's called the sustained campaign. The concept is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Basically, you stop thinking about a single, big launch. Instead, you think about daily, constant communication. It's about building a real relationship over time, not just yelling out one big announcement.
Wow, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because when you think about K-pop, that is their whole model, right? The idols are always on apps, doing live streams, sharing behind-the-scenes stuff. They're in constant communication with their fans. That's it in action.
Precisely. And the really critical part is that next step you see here, the co-growth ecosystem. It's not just a one-way street anymore, where a brand just talks at you. It's about building a community where the brand, the artists, and the fans are all in it together, growing together.
So, all of this leads us to what is basically the playbook for the future. If you're in media, if you're in marketing, this is the survival guide. These are the key trends, the pillars you absolutely have to build on if you want to make it in 2025. Okay, so what does this blueprint actually look like? Well, there are 5 key parts. First, sustainability, those sustained campaigns we just talked about. Then, target segmentation, which is really about finding your niche, your hyper-specific audience. You've also got to have ethics and responsibility baked into your message. Then, there's intelligently using AI within the creator economy. And finally, the glue holding it all together, community co-growth, making your fans feel like they are truly part of the story. It's the whole package. And this quote from our source material just nails it. This isn't just a temporary trend. It's a deep, fundamental change in how things work. Success is no longer a solo act. It's about building this ecosystem where brands, creators, and the community all have skin in the game. That's the new foundation, period. So, if you remember one thing from this explainer, let it be this. It doesn't matter if you're launching a K-pop group or new TV series. The product itself, that's just part of the puzzle now. The real lasting value comes from building and taking care of a dedicated community that feels like they are on the journey with you. Which leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. As all these rules are being rewritten, who's going to be the one to actually master this new ecosystem? Who's going to crack the code? And what kind of amazing community-first content are they going to create for all of us? The future is literally being built as we speak.